Welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of college basketball. This is it, the NCAA Men's College Basketball National Championship. And this year, it features the Purdue Boilermakers. But before that, let's find out what it took for Purdue to get there. Without further ado, let's run it. Their Final Four matchup ends in a final score of Purdue 63, NC State 50. Now, one game for all the marbles, bragging rights, and of course, for history. Purdue is moving on to play in the national championship game against UConn Monday night. What a time to be a Purdue fan. What a time to be covering Purdue basketball like I am right now. But let's get into how they got here. In their Final Four matchup, Purdue jumped on NC State early, going up 9-2 in the first 3 minutes on top of getting DJ Burns his first foul. And it looked like Purdue could potentially run away with this one. But the Wolfpack would find their footing, getting DJ Horn going early and often, as well as getting some help from beyond the arc from the likes of Michael O'Connell and Jaden Taylor. Zach Edey did his usual, finding his spots on the low post and getting to his hooks, even though they were doing a pretty good job of sitting on his left shoulder. Edey would end up with 3 first-half turnovers, 5 on the game, due to NC State's well-timed digs and slaps at the ball as he attempted to get into his spots. Both teams went on their runs, and NC State closed the gap to as close as 5 late in the half. But despite their best efforts, Purdue's 5 first-half threes would help put them up 6 at the break, 35-29. The second half wasn't very kind to either offense, quite frankly, but Purdue started quick once again with a Lance Jones 3 and TKR free throw to put them up 10 in the first 2 minutes of the half. DJ Burns only ended up with 4 made field goals on the game, 2 in the first half and 2 in the second, but one of those buckets would cut the lead back to 8. And that's where the offenses would sputter for a while. For a good 4 minutes of play, the only points scored were 2 free throws from DJ Horn until Mason Gillis hit a 3 on a Zach Edey kickout. From there, that's where Purdue took over, with a couple more threes from the supporting cast and Edey hitting a couple of baskets to extend the lead to as much as 20 with 3 minutes to go. Purdue did sense victory and kind of let off the gas just a little bit, letting up a couple of layups and a 3 to cut the lead to the 13-point deficit that it ended at for NC State. Going into some of the top performers, of course, you have Zach Edey right up at the top with 20 points on an efficient 9 of 14 shooting, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, but he did have the 5 turnovers that I mentioned. Secondly, Lance Jones stepped up. It was great to see him shooting the ball well. He ended up with 14 points on 5 of 12 shooting, 4 for 9 from 3, a little below 50%, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. For the Wolfpack, DJ Horn led the way with 20 points on 8 of 21 shooting, so he did shoot the ball a lot. And part of the reason he was 2 for 8 from 3. So only 25% for him. He was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, ended up with 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal to go along with. Behind him, I mentioned the name Jaden Taylor earlier. He came off the bench and had a pretty solid impact with 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3. He was 1 for 2 from the free throw line, ended up with 2 rebounds and 2 steals. And then going into the honorable mentions, Fletcher Lawyer got the ball to go in the basket a fair few times here with 11 points on 3 of 9 shooting, but all 3 of those were threes as he shot 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, ended up with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. As for DJ Burns, he is their other honorable mention. Not used to seeing him sort of, only third on the team in scoring, but he did only end the game with 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting, only 1 rebound, 4 assists, and 1 block. Getting into some key team points for Purdue, they got the 3 back. After the struggles from 3 last game, Purdue was able to get double-digit threes to fall in this one, going 10 for 25, good for 40%. They may not have gotten a ton else to go other than getting Edey going inside and the 3 ball, but those threes were really what kept them on top in this game. Lance Jones especially was really shooting it, leading the team with 4 threes, going 4 for 9 from deep, and Fletcher Lawyer got 3 of his own to fall. Other thing was surviving the turnover struggles. Purdue struggled mightily with turnovers in this game, ending the game with 16 turnovers. The main culprits, Braden Smith and Zach Edey, each getting 5 apiece. Braden just didn't look like himself this game, and it showed outside his poor shooting performance. A careless over and back, less than ideal passes, and just getting kind of pushed off his game in general. As for Edey, he was uncharacteristically careless with his post up, getting the ball poked away from both defenders crashing down on him, as well as his own defender, mostly because he wasn't really holding off his defender as much as usual and kept bringing the ball down too much where the guards could stab at it easily. These two have to be better in the national championship because they cannot win against UConn if they get as many as 16 turnovers. As for NC State, comes down to Burns' disappearing act. Since being such a force in the last couple of games to get NC State to the Final Four, DJ Burns Jr. just couldn't get it going in this one, partially because of foul trouble, partially because he just couldn't get very many shots to fall against Edey in the post. He still got 4 assists, and I personally think that they should have used him more as a facilitator to get Edey away from the basket, but he just wasn't able to get into any sort of rhythm all game. Secondly, they were beaten on the boards. NC State did put up a valiant effort, but still got beat on the glass on both ends, 11-6 on the offensive end for Purdue, and 30-22 on the defensive end, 41-28 in total. Purdue found ways to get second chance points and keep themselves comfortably ahead, especially in the second half. And that's a common theme for Purdue, so it's not all that surprising that NC State struggled on the glass against them, especially with the height discrepancy in the front court. So Purdue has officially punched their ticket to their second ever national championship appearance for the program, their first since 1969, to face another 1 seed in the UConn Huskies. This matchup is one that college basketball fans have wanted to see all year long, as these two teams competed for the top of the AP poll all year long. These two powerhouses will go to war on Monday night at 9:20 p.m. Eastern to crown the ultimate champion of men's college basketball. As for NC State, their incredible run finally comes to an end. Obviously, no one but me and Purdue fans really wanted to see Purdue win this game, but regardless of who you are rooting for, you have to appreciate this team for the crazy performances they put on game after game, starting in the ACC tournament and continuing on throughout the NCAA tournament. This may have just been a moment in time for the Wolfpack, but what a fun ride it was. But that's all I've got for today. I can't wait to see what this national championship has in store. Win or lose, it's been a ride I am super proud to have been a part of and grateful to get to witness. I'll recap that and we'll bring you our best of the bracket as we wrap up this college basketball season. As always, we sleep in May. But until then, like and subscribe for more college basketball content. And until next time, I'm out. Boiler up.